SpongeGex here. Have you ever bought a game where after 2 hours of playing, you're convinced that you'll never play it again? That's how I felt after upgrading to Super Mario Party Jamboree to the Switch 2 Jamboree TV Edition. So for $20, Switch 2 owners of Super Mario Party Jamboree can get a mediocre update that adds 10 uncomfortable mouse minigames, 3 mic minigames, a real shooting mode, a 2 vs 2 co-op for party mode, and a Bowser Live mode. Otherwise, you can buy this game separately for like $80, and it's not worth it. I would just recommend getting the regular original Switch version. But what really stinks about these modes is that they aren't even part of the base game. The menu is split across 2 different games, one that leads you to the original Switch version, and the one that leads you to Jamboree TV mode, which is where all the Switch 2 exclusive features are. You can still play all the board maps and minigames from the original game in the TV mode, but many modes and rule sets are missing, including the hub world, and you don't get any unlockables either, so you can't carry over like your points. You can't earn points when you're in this mode, and you can transfer over all your emotes or reactions that you got, so a lot of the stuff that you can use in-game that you unlock through the base game, it does carry over into the Switch 2 version, but I can imagine Nintendo did this to prevent the update from interfering with Switch 2 owners who still have their original Switch. Like, there might be some people who go back and forth between playing Super Mario Party Jamboree on both Switch and Switch 2, so they probably didn't want to risk having the data of the Switch version being overwritten with the Switch 2 version, which could have caused compatibility issues if you tried transferring that data over to the original through cloud. So yeah, I think that's the main reason why, but it's still a shame. Sadly, the TV party modes are still as slow as ever. They did add the option to speed up the CPU's movement speed, but the player speed is still really slow, and we still have the slow and lengthy dialogue by Toad and all the other NPCs. So it can take like 30 turns in an original Mario Party game lasted about an hour, and now it takes about 3 hours. And it's all because of how lengthy the dialogue is. Every time you get a star, it has to be slowly described to you, despite how you've played this over and over. You know what this stuff is, and they should have given us the option to speed through it like you could on the N64 and GameCube entries. Arguably, the best feature in this update is the Carnival Coaster. It's fun to try it out, but it won't leave you wanting to come back for more, really. Maybe it would have been better if it were for like a VR headset or something. Like, it really feels like it was a game made for VR, but because you don't have that, it's just a generic rail shooter that you've seen done to death. And it requires using the Joy-Con in mouse mode, which is an exclusive feature to the Switch 2 with their Joy-Cons. And I'm just going to say it, I already hate the mouse controls. They are very uncomfortable. It's not as comfy as using a mouse when playing a computer game. A mouse should have a round oval-like shape that fits into your hand. It shouldn't be a sideways rectangle wedged between your palm. It is so uncomfortable. Trying to press buttons while you're holding it like that is very uncomfortable, especially like when you're trying to pause or press start with the plus button. Not to mention how I don't have a table surface to properly play this. I mean, who does? Who actually plays their Switch, like when they're playing on TV mode, when they're wanting to record stuff? Who actually has it, like, at a computer desk? I have it in my bedroom. I'm playing on my bed. I don't have enough room to have, like, a table in front of my bed or something. And even then, that would be very uncomfortable, having to hunch over to pretend that you're playing a computer game. And so, because I'm playing on my bed, I don't have a smooth surface, and it's just not comfortable for me to hunch over. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm not a fan of the mouse controls at all, and I have no plans on using them in any future Nintendo game. And so I really hope that Nintendo only makes mouse controls optional from now on, because I don't like it being forced upon. Like, I can tell this would make a game like Metroid Prime 4 very uncomfortable. I'm just going to stick with traditional controls. If only Nintendo would have allowed Mario Party to use a full controller support. I mean, yeah, you can use a regular controller, but it disables a lot of buttons, so you won't be able to use dual analog controls, because I feel like with dual analog controls, a lot of these minigames could have actually worked, or just even using the shoulder buttons, because you gotta tilt your Joy-Con in some of these minigames in order to rotate certain things, and a lot of that could have easily been mapped with buttons. And so I don't see why these minigames had to be exclusive to mouse controls. A lot of them could have easily worked with another joystick or other buttons. It just makes no sense. And I honestly wish that Nintendo at least kept in the gyro motion controls as an option. I mean, they weren't perfect, they were kind of unresponsive at times, but I still thought they were more comfortable and fun than these awkward mouse controls. Has anyone else tried the mouse controls in any Nintendo game? Did they like them or not? Like, I tried DK Artist mode in Donkey Kong Bonanza, and as much as I love Donkey Kong Bonanza, I hated the artist mode. Like, I at first was trying to make something. I wanted to make something as simple as a Goomba, but I just thought it was so sloppy. I hated how unprecise the controls felt with the mouse control, and so I said, screw it. I'm not gonna bother trying to complete this. I'm done. So yeah, I hate the mouse controls. They are not comfy at all, and I really hope Nintendo... I hope people speak up and say to Nintendo, this isn't working, because I do not want to see them force this into every game they make from now on. So, I tried Tag Team mode. It's okay, but it's not as fun as the version from Super Mario Party. At least the minigames are no longer exclusive to just 2 versus 2 or dual minigames. We can still play free-for-all minigames for double the chances of winning. In case we lose, we can hope that our partner can win so we can share in on the coins. Otherwise, it's the exact same gameplay as Party mode, but we share everything with our partner. Also, the Jamboree Buddies and Jamboree mini-games are missing, but honestly, those things kind of sucked anyway, so I don't care. But sadly, you cannot play professional rules in Tag Team mode, so you're still stuck with the pesky chance time and boost spaces and all that. So we now also have the option to vote on 1 of 3 random minigames per turn, similar to the voting system used in Mario Party Star Rush or Top 100. I never liked that system, so I'd just rather stick with the random selection anyways. So there's not much to do in Carnival Coaster, going back to that, except point and shoot at enemies to keep your timer from going out, along with winning team minigames to earn more time. I will admit the visuals are nice, the characters have unique animations for certain reactions while riding the coasters. The added touch of raising your Joy-Con while riding down a hill in order to raise our hands and get extra bonus time is a pretty nice touch. There's 4 levels altogether. There's a 5th one, but it's called a trial, so I think it's just like a practice coaster, if anything, so I didn't bother trying that one out. So you got a volcano, a sky world, and a grassy field. So the first 3 are fine, but the 4th level can piss off. So it's a Boo House themed roller coaster. I tried it 3 times and gave up. I kept losing at the exact same point, and I'm pretty sure everyone else can agree this one sucks, because there's a slow and frustrating dumb luck section where you're forced to pick between 3 of 8 doors, and only 3 of them are the correct answer, and if you fail, you gotta go all the way back to the start of the hallway and try to pick the right door again, and it always feels like no matter how many times I replay it, I always get the bad doors, no matter what direction I pick. So I just rage quit. I was tired of suffering through the same miserable level 3 times in a row, and I was tired of hearing the stupid flower saying, we should pick another door, and it was so annoying. So yeah, aside from that crappy final level, the mode is okay, but it's not something I see myself going back to, really. So it's similar to Rapid Survival mode from Super Mario Party or Bowser Kaboom Squad. It's the exact same gameplay, but with a different style. So you gotta race against the clock to reach the end of something or defeat something, and you're bombarded with mini-games that are required to get like really good scores on so you can boost your time in hopes of actually making it to the finish. But just like those modes, I feel like this mode should have had the option to play without the minigames slowing and halting the momentum. This would have been so much more fun if it just focused on the shooting and the spectacle of just riding a roller coaster and shooting at the same time. But because of those minigames, it kind of ruins the mode for me. Onto the mouse minigames, which are the big meat of this whole package. So, Bowser Filter has us dragging and dropping files into their correct spots. I mean, it's basically nothing special. If you're used to dragging things around a computer, you know exactly what to do here. Bob Bomb Toss has us dragging Bob Bombs onto our opponent's hot air balloon basket. Whoever has the most bombs aboard their vessel loses. Pull Back Attack has us pulling back and tilting our Joy-Cons like we're racing toy cars, as we try reaching the other side without bumping into the other players or falling off the edge.
Finish!
Bob-omb Makeover has us dragging the Joy-Con and using the RZ button to spray paint Bob-ombs. If we run out of paint, we just gotta lift our Joy-Con and shake it like a spray can. This would have worked so much better as a gyro-based minigame. I mean, since spray painting actually requires spraying into the air, it doesn't make sense how we're dragging it around like we're playing a computer game. I don't get it at all. Yeah, it should have played more like a first-person shooter Wii Remote game instead of whatever they decide to go with here. Net Gains has us dragging a mouse cursor while holding the ZR button in order to select a number of square tiles in order to cast a net to capture Cheep Cheep while avoiding the urchins. You have to work with your partner to avoid going after the same fish that they're after. Totally Electric Escape is an awful and long and boring minigame where we use our cursors to grab Toad with the RZ button and drag him through an electric maze without touching the edges or dropping him. There's only one checkpoint. Stuffy Stacker is one of the better mouse minigames where we try making the tallest tower of plush figures without having them knock over. They should have made this a single-player challenge puzzle mode where we try getting the highest score, seeing how tall we can go or something under a certain time limit, and then if we pass, we can move on to the next level. They should have done something like that, but sadly, it's strictly a 2 vs 2 minigame. But why did this have to be a mouse-exclusive minigame? It could have easily worked with the joystick and shoulder buttons to rotate. Ice and Easy has us sliding our Joy-Con upward at the right time to push our sled in order to try popping balloons. I messed up when I first played this because I thought I had to pull back before pushing forward for some reason. Get a Grip is another decent one where we drag our Joy-Cons to move our robot arms, and we hold the ZR button to grab onto the ledges as we work together with our partner to climb to the top. Shell Hockey is basically just air hockey. I mean, Mario Party 2 already had a minigame like this. This one's slightly better, I'll admit, though. We just drag our Joy-Cons like we're actually playing air hockey. If you know how to play it, you know exactly how this goes. Domino Effect is a long and tiring minigame. It's one that I dreaded the most whenever it got picked because it just drags on. So we need to work with our partner to line up a long trail of dominoes in order to have Toad knock it over in order to reach a flower pot at the end, while watching out for enemies at the same time. I didn't realize I had to tap Toad to knock over the dominoes once everything was set. I was thinking like maybe you had to wait for a time limit to go up or something, but nope. It's like as soon as everything's ready, you gotta tap Toad to knock everything over. What's the Scoop has us needing to make ice cream cones that match an image. As we hover our cursor over the necessary ice creams, hold RZ and circle around our Joy-Cons to scoop out the ice cream, and then we drag them over the correct spots and press ZR again to drop the ice cream into the scoops, or the cones, I mean. We also have to work with our partner to make sure that we get it done faster. Knock Knock Match is just a tiring 2 vs 2 memory match game, so yeah, nothing special there. Finally, there's Goomba Scoopas. We move and tilt our Joy-Con around like we're playing with a toy car to push Goombas through our matching goals. This one isn't too bad. So yeah, well, there are at least like 2 or 3 of these in here that aren't too bad. The rest of them were very bland and forgettable. They're minigames we've seen done to death, but now they got mouse controls, and like I said, the mouse controls are very uncomfortable, so yeah, I was not impressed with this. Not worth 20 bucks. I don't have much to say about Bowser Live since I can't try it out until my Amit web camera arrives in the mail. I heard those were actually really good webcams for the Switch too, especially since they're $15 compared to the overpriced official camera from Nintendo. But I can tell that Bowser Live is going to be a waste of time. I can tell there's going to be no surprises, considering how everything I've already seen in this game was already shown off in the Nintendo Directs for Super Mario Party Jamboree TV. So yeah, I don't expect anything to really surprise me. I still want to try it out though, but I can tell it's going to be a waste of time. So the mode requires a webcam to insert yourself into the minigames themed around a game show hosted by Bowser. So it'll play very similarly to like PS2 iToy, or not as advanced, but similar to like the Xbox Kinect, I suppose. But so 3 of the minigames are playable without the camera, and they're all microphone themed. So we haven't really seen mic minigames since the 3DS era. Never really was a fan of them though, to be honest. But so Bowser Beats is the worst of the bunch. It is so unresponsive that even the CPU can't score a single point. It's a rhythm game where we're supposed to clap at the right time, but the claps just do not register. no matter how well you time them. This led me to thinking the other two mic minigames would be very unresponsive, but they surprisingly do work. Bowser Chicken has us saying go repeatedly to move our car as close as we can to Bowser without the car reaching him. This one might be fun to play with friends. Otherwise, I can't really say it's one that I would get excited to keep playing over and over. Like, it was worth trying out at least once. I thought I was gonna hate it, but it wasn't that bad, to be honest. Definitely one of the better chicken mini games out of the Mario Party series, in my opinion. I was never really a fan of those types of games, but this one was kind of fun. And finally, Speak Up Jr. plays very similarly to the last one. We say go to raise Bowser Jr.'s clown cart in order to have him collect coins. This one would have worked so much better as a button minigame, to be honest, but whatever. So, I have yet to try out the rest of the game because the rest of the game really requires a webcam. If you have a webcam, you can play through party mode, where it'll insert the players' faces to show up unexpectedly across the board maps and even the mini-games. So, like, every time you collect a star, it'll actually show your reaction. And so, this could make it, when you're playing with friends online, it could make for a more embarrassing, funny, or frustrating time, since you're constantly seeing your friends' reactions to the misery that's going on. So, yeah, I can imagine it can make the game very uncomfortable because of that. So, maybe after I get my camera, I'll make a follow-up video sharing my thoughts on Bowser Live, but I'm not sure if I'd be able to properly play it from my bedroom. I'm not sure if it would give me enough room to... Like, I'm hoping you can play it while sitting down, because if I have to stand up, I won't be able to do anything. But I could still always try it. So, while Super Mario Party Jamboree for the original Switch is an okay entry in the series, it has a few drawbacks though. It's a really slow game, but it still has enough content to make it worth playing. The Switch 2 DLC, on the other hand, is a total waste of time and money. Even if it is only 20 bucks, it was not worth buying. It's one of the worst things that ever come from the Mario Party series. Yes, it's even worse than Mario Party The Top 100, which I put at the bottom of my tier list when I previously did a review of the entire Mario Party series not too long ago. I give Jamboree TV, or the Switch 2 edition of Super Mario Party Jamboree, I give it a 3 out of 10. It is just not worth playing. Anyways, that's all I have to show for now. Thank you for watching, see you next time, and have a great day.